welcome back to TubeTalk.
Welcome back to you too, Dougie. First football game didn't go well.
Nah, but I didn't really get to play striker that much, so yeah.
What was the score?
I don't know.
4-1. Went down.
Anyway, last week...
I gotta say, if we get into last week, I was in Christchurch last week. And I had many calls from people saying, bring back Mr. McKinley's tipping.
Yeah.
So can you get a tip from the teacher, from Mr. McKinley next week?
Yeah, I'll see if I can arrange something.
Thank you, Douglas. Right. Preliminary's over. Let's get into it.
Well, last week was an unlucky one, wasn't it?
Everything. We got a lot of luck, all of it bad. Inside of the track was off at Rackedon, and our two big chances got caught on the inside, couldn't get off. It was just one of those days. Divine Sava got badly checked, back to last, ran home strongly in a stakes race. It was just one of those days where nothing went right. But you get those. There's still good horses, and there will be many opportunities for them to come. So we turn the page, we put it behind us, and we look forward. But there was actually one performance.
The one that had a good week last week was She Speeds, who had a good third.
Yeah, so second up we thought she'd improve, and we were going to be a bit positive with her, but she didn't have any speed out of the barrier. She got back last, weaved between them, and finished off really strongly for third. Massive improvement for her first up run to second up, crying out for 2,000 metres next start. Was really happy with her. She was a real highlight.
Then moving on to this week, on Friday at Matamata we have two horses. Not two horses in the same race, sorry, just two horses.
Yeah.
Race one is She's Apples.
Yes. Is it race one? I think it's race one.
No, it's race one.
No, it's not race one. I think it's race 5. I think it's race 5, Doug.
You fed me wrong information.
No, I didn't feed you wrong information.
Definitely did.
Sure
I never make a mistake there.
She's Apples race 5.
You've given me the wrong information. Anyway, how was She's Apples in race 5?
She's Apples race 5. So, goes back to Matamata, where she's won before. Sam Willie on board, who's won it before. And she's got to strike a heavy track, and she's won on a heavy track before. So those three things are in her favour. I think the 1,400 metre suits. She's got an inside-ish draw. So how the track plays will be important, because if they're getting out really wide, it'll be tough. But they don't tend to at Matamata. They tend to sort of be through the middle of the pack. Her trials have been really good. I think she needed her last run. It was her first one for a while. I think she'll prove for it, and I think she'll be very competitive tomorrow.
Race 9 is Will I Never?
Yes, Will I Never, a really improving horse. She got home really well last start for third. I think that she'll continue to improve. It was a heavy track last time and she ran well, so I think the heavy track will be fine. I think the mile will suit her. Danielle Johnson on board, she's an improving mare. I think she's a really nice each way chance.
On Saturday at New Plymouth, race 7, we have Hazara.
So Hazara was second in the Easter Handicap last start, and he's got a great form line, 1, 2, 3, 2. And it looks a really good race for him. But they've opened him up at $2.40 on the fixed odds, and I wouldn't be taking it. He's at the end of his preparation. He was a Group 2 place last start. It was a really tough run with So 9, and you're never quite sure how much that's taken out of them. He's stepping to 1,800 metres, which I think is fine, but he's stepping out on a heavy track as well, and that concerns me a bit. So he's got a heavy track. You're not sure how much last run took out of him. The odds say he'll win, and he's certainly easily good enough to win, and I hope he does, but I'd be nervous about taking 240 for all those reasons. Obviously, if he turns up in good form, the last run hasn't knocked him round, he'll be awfully hard to beat, and he'll go for a spell after this.
And then at Rotorua race 1, we have...
See, that was where race 1 was. Rotorua.
At Rotorua race 1, we have Shibuya Costerton and Cubic Moon.
So Shibuya Costerton, they're both drawn wide. Shibuya Costerton's barrier 15.
It's our curse.
Sorry?
It's our curse.
South Coast, but it's a heavy track, so it's
Yeah.
actually good. I'm actually quite pleased. Shibuya Coston races well at Rotorua. First up, she ran third. His second up run was actually very, very good. She got caught off the track the whole way, took off before nominations, covered the earth, loomed up to win, and only hit the wall the last bit. I think it was an excellent run. I think the barrier draw is fine on a heavy track. I think if we're a little bit more patient with her and just allow her to find her feet, not get going too early, I think she can run a really good race. I think she'll be well over the odds. Cubic Moon, only a fourth start. Her second up, she was very, very good. She ran third. Her next run, she just did a lot wrong. She travelled too hard, she pulled, she did a lot wrong, and she's a horse we're just really having to work with a lot just to get her to settle and relax. She's certainly got the ability. I actually like the draw for her. She'll get back to, hopefully, and just relax, let it all unfold, and she too can finish off well. We do like her. Hard to split them. I'd say just on fitness in their last runs, I'd slightly lean towards Shibuya Coston of the two, but whoever handles track best will finish the best.
And then race 6, we have Rip 'em Up.
So Rip 'em Up's had a really good campaign. She won 2 starts back, blew them off the track. She then had just a little setback, and so she needed her last run. She got well back but made good ground, but just needed it. This is a Group 3 race, and she's going to go for a spell after this. Run on a heavy track, not quite sure how she'd handle it. We probably wouldn't normally run her here, except it's the end of, on a heavy track except it's the end of her campaign. She's going for a spell. It's an opportunity to run for black type. We know ability wise she's right up to it. She's got a nice barrier draw 4. It's just how she handles the track that's the key. So Darren Dennis on board, he's done a great job for us. It's a race where there's a lot of horses on 53 kilos, so it's been hard to get jockeys to ride that weight. But Darren's ridden well for us all season. It is a little bit of a throw at the stumps before she goes for a spell, but I would not be surprised to see her run very well if she handles the track.
Race 9, we have Threadra Needle and Raggedy Doll.
Threadra Needle was excellent, fresh up last start, covered too much ground, and you'll see on the video here she's only running 4th, but she covered the earth. It wasn't Cozzy's fault, he had to ride her that way, and she finished off really strong. She likes a wet track, just don't know if she likes a really heavy track. That's probably the only question mark, but she's got a nice draw and it looks a nice race for her. Raggedy Doll was fresh up, will improve with the run. It's looking like a mare that's going to get over more ground than this, but she won fresh up last campaign on a heavy track. She's got not a bad draw. She might get back a little bit, but I can see her finishing off. She's always finishing off her races, so I can see her finishing off.
Okay, and then moving on at Gold Coast, race 7, we have Monofasa.
We're going to Australia.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Monofasa, she's second up. Her first run over 1400 wasn't bad. She got left a little bit flat-footed at the 600 when she struck a bad bit of the track, but then came home well. The step up to 1800 metre suits. Would love to see her on a good track. It's heavy as we talk about this, but it will improve. The 1800 metre suits much better. We'll just have to ride it back with a bit of cover, and we should see her running on much better.
At Doomben, race 4, we have Elward.
The mighty Elward. So this possibly is his last run, his last start. His last couple of runs he's loomed up to win, but hasn't kicked off because the track has been slow, has been soft. The track was looking good early in the week, and now it's pushed out to heavy. There is good weather forecast, but we really need to come back a long way. This looks a good race for him. He's dropping in weight. He's got a midfield barrier draw. Kieran McAvoy gets on board. It's his favourite distance. All those things look good for him because he's been lumping huge weights, except for the fact that the track's wet, and he's certainly better when it's a firm track. So what we do, we'll just have to wait for the day. If it was a good track, I think he'll be well over the odds. And if it ends up being his last start, he's been a great warrior, but he's certainly not a spent force. He gets a nice run in transit with this weight off his back. If he handles the track, he can be in it.
And And then finally at race 9 we have Wairiri Falls.
Fresh up over 1400 metres, very wide barrier draw. If he runs, he'll get back and run home. It's an 18 horse field. It might be just a bridge too far, fresh up to win from a long way back over 1400, but he will be hitting the line well, and he will improve with it going into his future races. He's coming up really well.
And then finally we move on to bit of the week. And then we're this week at our bit of the week this week, at Doomben race 5 we have Giannis, that's it.
Yeah, so Giannis, it's a horse by Flying Artie. It's out of a mare called Palace Rock, and I was actually underbidder on Palace Rock. It's a Fastnet Rock mare, and she was really talented from a good family. And this is, it might be her first or second foal. Anyway, it's had 2 runs in Sydney earlier this season, both in stakes races for a 5th and a 3rd. So it's raced well, and I suspect it's fresh up. I suspect they've been waiting for Brisbane with it. Good jockey, nice draw. I think it's probably a little bit of a drop in class, and I think at about $5, I think it's really, really good odds. So Giannis is our bet of the week.
And that concludes Tube Talk.
And next week we'll be back with Doug promising us a bet for Mr. McKinley.
Hopefully.
All right. See you, mate.
See you next week.
Bye.
And Sunline raced about 3 lengths in front here. From Scusi Please going to second. Testarossa to third. Then the Message who's gone. She's going to take some beating, this great mare. Next is Diatribe. Nothing's making ground on her. She's away, Sunline. She leads by 4 lengths. The champion New Zealand mare has raced away in the Cox Plate. Diatribe and Referral are running onto the placings, followed by Testarossa and then Scusi Please. But the champion mare is going to kill them. She's 5 in front, Sunline, and a piece of racing history. Back-to-back Cox Plates for the champion mare, Sunline. She's won it by 6 lengths easily.